Yo, what is going on, guys? XpertFusion here, and today I got another one of those laid-back commentary type videos for you guys. Today I want to talk about the obvious lack of content in Call of Duty Cold War Zombies, because this is something that's been probably hurting this game the most out of anything. I'd say Cold War Zombies, as a foundation, is actually really solid. The gameplay is really good. It's got, you know, some pretty cool things within the map itself, some pretty cool story ideas going around, but there's just not much to do, and not just in the map itself in Die Maschine, but just even in the game in general. I feel like this is almost the opposite of BO4, where BO4 had a lot of content in zombies, like a lot, especially during the launch season, and then even until like December and January. We had a lot of stuff in the game. I mean, there was a total of 5 maps after December 11th in 2019 in BO4, and between those 5 maps you had different modes, you had custom mutations, you had all these perks and all these specials, weapons, you so much stuff to mess with. Cold War has had 1 map plus Dead Ops Arcade, which most people don't really count that. I mean, I played it like once or twice in the beginning of the season. I thought I'd play it more, but I honestly haven't. I think a big part of that is that you don't really level up when playing it, so I don't feel like I'm really, going towards anything while I play it, and it's obviously pretty difficult, so I kind of just want to wait till some of my friends want to play it and such, and then maybe I'll get into it a little bit more, but it's still not that much content, even with counting Dead Ops Arcade. So instead of me just sitting here complaining about the fact that we don't have much content in the game, because we can't really change that. We can't change the fact that this game launched with not much content, right? But what we can not really change, but necessarily what we can hope for, and we can talk about and suggest, are things that I would like to be added. Now, obviously, they've probably already completed most of the DLC, so what I say in this video is not going to make much of a difference to what they actually add. This is just kind of putting some of my hopes and wishes out there, so hopefully some of these things can happen, because if they don't happen, I'm going to be a little disappointed with this Zombies game, because you can have a great foundation of a game, but if you don't have content there, it's not going to be replayable. You can play it a couple times and have fun with it, and the couple times, I won't say couple times, but the times I have played Cold War Zombies, specifically Die Maschine so far, have been pretty fun, but I've gotten bored of it. I've gotten bored of it actually like probably a few weeks ago, They had the new Jingle Hells update, which was a new mode and that I thought was completely just, it was a gimmick. It was more a one-time gimmick that you'd hop in, be like, oh, cool Christmas stuff, and then that's what else are you gonna do with it? There's no replayability there, and I have a lot of ideas, a lot of suggestions that can definitely make it better. So we're gonna be talking about that in today's video. When it comes to multiplayer, I originally complained about the lack of content at launch, but honestly, they've gotten much better with that. Just after the Season 1 update, I already feel like multiplayer now is at a state where it has enough content to be replayable. But obviously, over time, it's going to start to get a little bit stale, so they need to keep it up with the updates, which I believe the mid-season update should be coming out soon, so that will be good. Hopefully, we get something for zombies other than just the cranked mode as well. But let's talk about zombies today, because, I don't really feel like talking about multiplayer Warzone right now. I just want zombies to be much, much better. So first things first that zombies needs to do is just the obvious one. We just need more maps, right? That's the obvious thing that's going to happen regardless, but it needs to be more than just the expected maps, right? So I'm expecting to have 4 DLC maps like we always do, where they're like fully fledged Easter egg style maps. But what needs to happen for these 4 maps is that A, they need to be replayable maps, meaning these maps need to have a lot of content on them. It can't be like Die Maschine, where there's this really simplistic Easter egg that can be done in like your first try practically, without many side quests that really are that useful, and just not a lot on the map itself. They need to have a lot to it to make it something that I want to go back to over and over and over again, because Die Maschine, I really don't want to. The only times I find myself going back to zombies is simply to upgrade some of my weapons and get some camos. I don't play it for Die Maschine anymore. I've done the Easter egg enough times to the point where it's not fun anymore, and it's not really that fun of an Easter egg in the first place, because there's no like enjoyable boss fight really. So, I'm done complaining about Die Maschine. I still think it's a great map. It's just these problems are just kind of dragging it down substantially. So this Vietnam map that we're supposedly going to be getting in February, hopefully will have that replay value that keeps me wanting to play it. And then for the other 3 maps that'll be coming out throughout the DLC cycle, they gotta be replayable as well. But we can't just have those 4 maps. There needs to be more. And my idea here is each map should also come with a side survival map. And I think everyone's been saying they want this. We should already have Knocked by now. I don't see how hard it could be to add Knocked in as its own playable survival map. where you'd have all the perks just automatically on there, maybe like a pack-a-punch machine, and you could just go around killing zombies in this simplistic little thing. And you might be like, well, what's the replay value there if it's just a regular survival map? It just gives more stuff to do. You know, if you don't feel like hopping into a match where you have to go turn on the power and get pack-a-punch, which doesn't take too long in D Machine, but it'd be nice to just have a map where you could just hop on and just, you know, be there and just already have everything basically unlocked for you in a smaller scale type map. And I think that'd be great if each map came with a little cut-off section of the map and turned it into a survival map, right? We already have the idea that apparently Kino might get some sort of remake. There's been rumors of Deriz getting a remake, but not like, you know, a remake like Zombies Chronicles. I mean like a remake like what D Machine did to Noct. So it'd be very different of a map, just have Kino's foundation still intact. Why not have Kino be also a separate survival map, or also Deriz be a separate map? You know what I mean? Like, they can do stuff like this, and it would just allow us to have more maps to play and give the game more replayability. I don't see why not. I'm sure it wouldn't be difficult for them to do. I'm not a game developer. I don't know exactly what that entails, but I'm assuming they'd just be able to cut it out of the map itself and just plop some perks on there and then make it work. I don't think it would be that difficult, but I guess, I don't know, it must be because it hasn't happened yet. And also, what happened to the Victus remakes? Those were leaked back for Black Ops 4, and then we heard they got pushed to Cold War. People were saying they were going to come at launch, and then now they're just not coming at all. So I don't know what their plans are with that. I really hope they do release them sometime throughout the season. I thought it would make sense to do it sometime throughout the season because they're already pretty much made according to the leakers. Like, they were already made for BO4. You just have to port them over to Cold War and make it work for Cold War's engine. I don't know if that would be that tricky. I don't know if they have them on the ready. I feel like during these off times in between season would be a good time to release them when we're not getting new content. It just makes sense to me, but I guess not. I don't know. So now getting into game modes, I think game modes is also really damn important for this game, and we need more. We need more, right? Right now we just have the regular mode, and then we have this Jingle Hells thing, and we're getting cranked soon, which seems like it could be fun for like 1 or 2 games, but I don't think it's going to be very replayable because they didn't promote any competitive aspects of it. This is a big thing to me. We need competitive zombies modes. I don't want any more of these co-op modes. The main mode is already very co-op related. We need more competition in zombies because I think competition is very replayable. That's one of the best things about video games is competition. When you don't have any competition, you lose that replay value because you're not trying to get better as much, you're not trying to improve. And you might be like, oh, well, Zombies has always had the competition of trying to get the highest round possible. We're in 2021 now. Nobody cares about what round you get to unless it's a world record anymore. No one cares that you got to round 35 or round 40. Like, no one cares. I don't think that's on anyone's radar when talking to their friends. Oh, what round you get to? Oh, I got to a high round. That was back in 2010. We were fighting over that type of stuff. No one cares anymore. Now it's all about world records and speedrun for Easter eggs, right? So what you need to do is you need to incorporate new game modes, make them competitive matches against friends, so we can have these awesome experiences. And there's already great ideas out there, and also there's already been things in the past that could easily work well for this game. Grief is an obvious example. That was a competitive zombies mode that can definitely be used in this game. I wouldn't want it to be ported the exact way it was from BO2 because, you know, BO2's Grief was fun and all, but there's some things about it I didn't like too much. So rework it a little bit and make it work for this game. I don't think it could be that difficult to create it. And if they were to do these little survival map things for each map, Grief would work perfectly on survivals type maps, you know, they really would. They could work on the regular maps too, but it would just be easier, I think, on a survival map. So Grief is a good example. I've always had the idea of a gun game sort of a mode for zombies where you go into this match and you have to get as many kills as possible, and when you get certain amount of kills with one gun, you switch to another gun, and basically the person who wins the match is the person who finishes with the last gun or whatever. So you just get the most amount of kills, basically. These could be fun competitive matches. Maybe you could have, you know, these public match playlists for them, so people who are solo, they still have some fun competition stuff to do. They don't even need friends to have competitions. They can just go into public matches. Maybe you get rewards for it. Maybe you get some XP rewards, or you get Ethereum crystals, or whatever it may be. Give us some rewards. And then another thing that they could do is include tournaments of some sort. You know, you already had these gunfight tournaments back in Modern Warfare multiplayer, which has already been leaked to come back in Cold War. Do some of these tournament style things, but for zombies, or maybe do it in a way where it's like these weekly events and you have to try to get the best time. Let's say it's a speedrun time for the D Machine Easter egg or something like that, with specific rule sets. Maybe incorporate custom mutations back into it. Give us these cool custom mutated modes where we have to complete the Easter egg in a certain amount of time with these specific settings on. Maybe the zombie speed's increased or the health is decreased on yourself, or maybe it's snipers only or something like that. And you have to try to complete it as fast as possible, and the top 100 in each region or something gets a reward. I don't know. There's so many ideas they could do for tournaments in zombies to make it more competitive in game itself that would just expand the replay value. Like right now, I don't really have much of a need to try to even speedrun these maps, because speedrunning is not something I'm that interested in, because I don't expect myself to get world records. But in BO4, I actually had fun doing it because it actually kept your score on the screen, your highest time or whatever for each map. So that actually motivated me to try to get better times for each map to try to beat them. But in this game, they have it in the scoreboard. It's kind of hidden, but it doesn't even show there at all. It still says 0, even though I've completed the Easter egg multiple times. So I don't really know if it's glitched or if it just doesn't work properly. But if they had it like how it was in BO4, I really think I'd be much more motivated to speedrun. But if you even had tournaments on top of that with like cosmetic rewards like skins or blueprints or something, the community will go crazy over this. People will be trying their best to get the best time possible. Or maybe it's the highest round in a solo, like maybe starting room only challenge or something, or maybe just the person to get the most kills with a sniper rifle within the week's period or something. But that'd be more about like your actual how much time you're playing that week, as opposed to like, you know, just being able to get the best time in a specific week frame. I don't know, but there's so many ideas they could do for competitive zombies tournaments for rewards, cosmetic rewards. I don't know why they haven't done them yet. This is exactly how zombies could change to being something great, and I think we've all said this. And unfortunately, this year was just some of the same crap that I was I was hoping we wouldn't have, right? Because zombies, to me, to innovate, it doesn't need to change the mechanics. The mechanics themselves don't really need to change substantially. You could still have BO3's mechanics, and it could work just fine. I like Cold War's mechanics, I do, but those aren't really good innovations to me. Those are just changing the map itself. Okay, it's not really changing how it's going to be played long term, though. It's still just a map. You hop in and you try to get to the highest round possible, maybe do the Easter egg or go for some camo challenges. There's still nothing else to do on top of that. If you were to start adding these competitive like tournaments and systems into the game, like what we had in BO4 with custom mutations, but kind of made in a more competitive aspect, you could really you could make this game a million times more replayable and something that people want to go back to on the daily. But nobody's playing anymore. Nobody cares. We're just waiting for DLC 1, because what else are we gonna do? What else are we gonna do? We're not gonna play the same map for 3 months straight. That's just, zombies doesn't work like that unless you do what I'm saying here with all the different modes and all the different things. And there's a reason why I feel like that's a better idea than just being like, oh, we need a new map every month, is because a new map every month is just not realistic, right? They can't really put that much work into it, especially with the whole, you know, pandemic happening and the development issues Cold War had. They're not going to be able to do that many maps. So a simple way to do it is just give us these other replayable features that make it enjoyable, right? That's all you need. Something like custom zombies in BO3 doesn't need all these things, because you can get unlimited maps practically. You know, you have maps coming out every other day, right? So you could just keep downloading new ones. But think about it. Do you ever play a custom map more than once? Like, not really. You might play it a couple times if it's a really good one, but you don't play it long term like you would for Treyarch style maps. So why aren't these being replayable though? Because they're not including features outside of the map itself that make it replayable, and even the map itself isn't all that replayable. We played Black Ops 3 a lot because that's back then. We're getting to a point now where we can't just have the maps and enjoy it, because we've been playing zombies for 12, actually 13 years. So that's it. That's all I gotta say for this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys on my next one. Peace out.